from Pub Pass. Thank you guys so much for joining us
Thank
today.
you for having us.
So tell us a little bit about your guys' role of Pub Pass and what Pub Pass is.
Sure, I'll start with the backstory, and then we can get local with our fabulous market curator, as I always say, city curator. But Pub Pass started about 10 years ago in Minneapolis as our first market. It's where our home office is still based. As a way to explore your city via one free beer at each of 25 places throughout the year. So it's this book. We've been making this for 10 years. The first year in Minneapolis, the idea was basically, my buddy Nick said, where would I take my friends if they were in town from somewhere else? Let me try to line up a great mix of bars with character. We call them dive bars up north, but like places that are
we have those.
Yeah, exactly. Places that are rich with character stories, a bar older than the building sometimes, things like that, all the way to craft beer, which 10 years ago was still obviously hot, now is insanely hot.
Yeah.
And it's grown over time to probably more of a craft beer focused program. But as we now get into our app and digital, we're kind of revisiting bars like that, cocktails, distilleries, places that wouldn't have gone into a beer book necessarily, but in the 10 years since, we've taken this annual craft beer thing to 15 markets plus. Our app is now in markets, smaller markets, 20 plus. We're going to be going everywhere with the digital thing, but the distillation of all of that for us is exploring through beer, through cocktails, getting to know your city and other cities better than you would have had you not taken a chance on places you didn't know about because of the Pub Pass. So
cool.
There it is. Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, we've had one, we saw it advertised online.
There you go.
And you bought it for a gift.
Yeah.
And we've had lots of fun with it. So.
The whole point with it is, it's not just about free beer. It's not just about BOGO or $1 beers with the app. That's the excuse to get you to check places out. We have people come up to us all the time at our parties. We'll do finisher parties where people who got all their stamps can come and get a shot at prizes and a beer on us. We did one last night at Second Line Brewing. Very, very fun. People come and say, oh, I loved this place, I love that place. And that's cool. We love to hear that. But the real thing we love is the stories of, I got this with my son, and it's given us an excuse to go out 25 times a year and catch up. With the beer is the reason why, and we hear stories like that with parents and kids. We hear people who met using it. Believe it or not, there's a couple marriages now someone who saw someone else with a pass at the bar and struck up a conversation, and it wasn't like, oh, you're a Pub Passer, let's get married, but it was something that sparked a convo. But we have 50,000 plus people using this around the country between the app and our book, and that's going to lead to a lot of cool stories, and it's grown into a thing of its own, and we're just kind of here to continue trying to hold on for the journey as this thing goes around the country. So getting down here to New Orleans was like, it needed no introduction as a party city, as a culture city, as a cocktail city, as a beer city now, like an incredible beer scene. So to get here with our book and now our app and get to know this market and have this market get to know us, it's been so much fun. And we're really young here. We're only in our second or third year. So it's such a great excuse to come down here. I'm from Minnesota, as I said, and it was negative 17 yesterday when we took off. And here you all are, y'all are in your coats and bundling up last night.
I got my vest on today.
I was dude in a t-shirt going, it feels good to me, So, but it's so much fun. We love being here in this market, and Shanna can speak to why it's going so well for us here and why people here just have taken to what we're doing, really. So.
Yeah. Well, what we really like about part of our impetus is we like to have a relationship with what we drink. Not just
relationship. I love that.
I'm having a love relationship with this coffee right now.
I'm having
the
same. French truck, by the way.
They're awesome.
Yes.
We love them.
We love French truck.
Yeah.
Yes.
But so it sounds to me like that was sort of your idea, was go check out these cool places and it'd be more meaningful than, I need a beer.
100%. So our first market was Minneapolis 10 years ago. So this 2023 edition is our 10th in the Twin Cities. And then every year for a while we added a new city. So City 2 was Milwaukee, City 3 was Denver, and needs no introduction as a beer area. And in fact, our app has over 300 spots on the front range in
Denver's
Denver.
blown up.
It's crazy cool. But what we really want to keep through all of that is, if you said, oh, I've never been to Milwaukee, and I hand you a pub pass, it shouldn't be, well, here, have some beers. It would be, go to these spots. They're really cool. There's a place in Milwaukee called Boone and Crockett. It's a cocktail bar. And then Boone and Crockett does barrel-aged draft cocktails, including other cocktails, but they have an old-fashioned, which is a Wisconsin staple as well. They do it a little differently than y'all down here, but like they have it come down from barrel in a little hose, and you pick whiskey or brandy.
Oh my gosh.
And
That's awesome.
it's super cool.
That's
You
so
went in there for a beer. You're not going to not have that old fashioned. You're not going to take great photos with all their decor. Stay for a taco from the taco truck. So the idea is, the beer is just the excuse for the journey and the discovering. And our slogan, if we have one at Pub Pass, is "Discover Better." And it's, you know, the idea is to do discovery in a better way and discover better places. So it's maybe catchy, snappy, whatever, but there really is a spirit behind it of when people come down here and they get one of these, they should know, whether you're local or coming down for tourism or with the app, you're going to go to cool spots. And it's because someone who gets it is saying, this is a cool place. It's worthy of being in Pub Pass.
Well, and I think it's great too. Like, I know when I got my stepdad this for Christmas or for his birthday, some holiday.
Christmas, Father's Day, something.
Now I get to go. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? She
Right.
gets to go. Like, we get to
Right.
explore it with him because it's like, okay, well, I have a free beer here.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to really want to drink alone. I mean, I'm sure
Yeah.
some people do, but
Right.
you can make it a whole, like, family thing, or they made the whole, like,
we
pub crawl out of
we
it.
did
Like,
we do a date night or date day. We set aside time to hang out.
Yeah.
And we didn't realize, just if you've got the booklet, it expires.
It's an annual.
Yeah,
yeah.
one
So-
year. 1 year.
One year.
So it was probably the 15th of December, and it dawned on us that it expired.
Yep.
And we had not been exploring the North Shore breweries.
Yeah.
Actually, I think he forgot to take it when we go over there. So we
Some
basically
good
made a
ones
day
over
of
there,
it, and we went to
Yeah.
6 or 7
I love it.
breweries, and it was great. We found some new favorites,
Yeah.
and it was a fun day.
That's where Rally Cap is, right?
Yeah.
Rally Cap is in Baton Rouge.
Oh, Baton Rouge. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Yep.
fun
But
Yep.
we found some Abitas over there.
Okay. Yep.
Chafunkta.
And
Chafunkta
I
does.
just love saying Chafunka.
Yeah, I know.
Should we all say it?
Chafunka. Chafunka.
Yeah, it's great.
Chafunkta has my favorite hat, and I just actually texted the owner of Chafunkta the other day, Josh, and said I need a new hat. I've worn it out.
I love it. I love
But they
it.
do a lot of bus tours, so Chafunkta's kind of taken Pub Pass to another level because he buys a lot of books from us, and then he'll
Alright.
bring in bus tours and groups. So he's kind of really expanded on the North
He's
Shore
doing
with
it.
Pub Pass.
So
Yeah.
how did you get involved with Pub Pass?
So long story short, I had moved back to New Orleans. I've lived here for 20 some years. Moved away up to the Northeast for about 10. A really good friend of mine was a part of a women's group. I don't think I ever told you this. She was a part of a women's group, and she texted me one day, Shauna, there's this really cool opportunity in New Orleans with this group called Pub Pass.
No kidding.
And
Alright.
you love your craft beer. I think this would be a great job for you, a great side hustle is what
Yeah.
she said. My friend Molly, I'll give her a shout out. And Molly's an entrepreneur, and she's in marketing.
Cool.
So I looked it up, and anyway, reached out to these guys, and I was like, this sounds amazing. We talked a few times, and then it was a perfect fit. And I love New
Yeah.
Orleans, so I have a passion for New Orleans
And
and
that's what it
craft
takes.
beer.
Someone
So-
who has a heart and frankly, a good smell test for the city of, because there's a lot of, like any city, there's some places that you're like, I wouldn't put that in there. It's not a great spot. Fine, go have beer there, whatever. But like getting that list so that when we come down, we already know where to go. And so Mike, who's not here, would be normally, but we got 15 of these parties in the last 5 weeks, so he's taking the weekend off. But Mike Fazy, our director of curation,
Yeah, but he's in minus 17 degrees.
He's
That's
in
a
minus
bad
17.
choice.
So Mike,
Bad choice.
Yes.
bad choice. Yeah, I think he did Des Moines last weekend. So I don't know. He drew the short straw. No, Des Moines is amazing, but great, actually
Still
awesome beer
cold,
scene there.
I
Still cold,
suspect.
yeah. But basically, Mike works with a handful of really talented and passionate people like Shanna who know a city and say, let me help. We use the word curator because it's really not sales. Like, we're not out there hard selling people to be in Pub Pass. We're saying we'd love you to be in this.
Right.
It's a cool thing. It's an
Right.
opportunity for you. It's going to, in a market like this, it's going to bring people through your door who are only here for 2-3 days. And with our app especially, like, you're going to have app users from Denver come to NOLA for a weekend, and they're going to look at that map and go, where should we go? And they'll make their decisions based on what's in the app and go check out places that they maybe wouldn't have known about otherwise. And it'll help kind of guide them to a better experience. So, it's no small responsibility, but it's a fun responsibility. It's a it's a thirsty, delicious responsibility to say, like, and the beauty of the app is there's no cap on it. So, we don't have to stop at 25 spots. We can go, well, that's cool too. Put it in. So we're talking about getting New Orleans connected all the way to Florida, where you could just drive the Gulf Coast and hit pub pass spots the whole way with your app.
That's a spring break.
Right?
Exactly.
It sounds delicious.
Yes.
So
That sounds awesome.
Yeah,
so the pass was first, correct?
Pass was first, yep.
Okay.
Our app is about 2 years old, 3 years old, but we're really just pushing is the wrong word. We're promoting it now in earnest because it's finally getting to that critical mass of spots where, like I said, if you go to Denver and you load it up, and anyone who's watching, you can use the code BeerMe3 for 3 free months of the app. Check it out, try it out. Just BeerMe3 will get you 90 days until it starts charging you, and then it's $5 a month. And for the beauty of the app is you pull up that Denver map and go, holy cow, I want to take a 3-day weekend in Denver just because of all the beer I can drink.
It's worth it.
And they're going to get you BOGOs at all these breweries. So same with this. We talked to a couple last night that went to Milwaukee of all places. And again, I love Milwaukee. I'm a Midwesterner, but you wouldn't think a New Orleans couple would go to Milwaukee for a vacation. And I said, well, did you have some reason to be there? Literally the only reason was they looked at our app and said, there's a lot of spots in Milwaukee. There are, there's 100 plus. And they went up there last summer. They're like, oh, we got out of the heat and came to Milwaukee for a weekend and checked out spots just because it was in the app. So that's what we hope eventually becomes it's already happening. Beer tourism is not unique to Pub Pass, but if we can do it in a way where super sharp locals say, this is where you should go, here's these people, and then we write our little blurbs on everyone and explain you a little bit about the place, maybe the history of it, maybe their signature cocktail you should also try, or their Greek nachos, or whatever. Like, we try to give you some info, so it's not just go here for beer, but it's the place you're going is cool, here's why, blah, blah, blah. That part of it is also something that we think is really unique to us, that we have the stories, the places, the history, the backstory, because it's more than a beer, as you said. It's about the story that you're telling with the places that you chose to go.
Well, and in this town, you can throw a rock and hit a brewery or hit a
bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's nice. I'm from the West, and when I first moved here, luckily I was with someone who lived here and could give me the guided tour. But I have lots of friends who came and said, for whatever reason I don't like New Orleans. It was because they didn't know where to go.
Yeah.
And they ended up in the tourist traps. And so it's great that you have a local person in all of these cities who's going, okay, these are great spots. These are places where you'll get good service, good beer.
You basically have a local in your pocket or
That's
in
a
your
great way to put
pass.
it. Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, because you know that these are
a local drinking buddy.
a local
There you go.
drinking
Yes,
buddy. Like,
exactly.
ultimately,
Yeah.
And kind of to that point, that when the way I kind of set it up is you have an uptown tour, so you can spend a day uptown. I actually took a group to the Bywater. We did a Bywater tour. We did bicycling. So we took our bikes. There was about 10 of us. And the cool thing was they had never been to any of those locations.
Oh, wow.
And so these breweries that are cool, like Parlow and Bywater Brew Pub and the Bar of the Junction and then Brew Carré, they had never been to them. And now they're like begging me to take them on a bike ride again. And they want to do the Uptown tour and they want to do the North Shore. So it's kind of cool because you can do these day trips. Like you and your husband do the day trip across the lake. You can do the North Shore. I had a lady at the party last night, Tina. She does Baton Rouge trip where she'll go get a hotel. I mentioned to you guys she got the Marriott, and then she went to Hammond and got a hotel at Hammond, hit up Gnarly Barley and Low Road. So it's made where you can have these day trips and spend different. If you're in town for a long weekend, you do the Uptown. You come back for the next weekend, you do the Bywater. Yeah. So, and I've had so much positive feedback from that. People saying, I didn't get to Bywater, but the next time I come to town, we're going to hit up the Bywater.
Love it.
So it is about the journey, and that's what I've loved about it, because I'm a big craft beer drinker, but the journey, the part of it being with your friends, there's nothing like it. Drinking beer outside with the sun shining in New Orleans.
It's as good as it gets. And one of the cool things to the journey thing, and you talked about biking, we've got a guy in the Twin Cities who for 10 years has completed the entire pass by bike. And in Minnesota, that can be tough, because half the year you either aren't biking or you're insane.
I don't think I could do that.
So, but I know, and exactly, and they
I'd have to pull my bike, push it slowly.
They come to our parties and we're like, "There's the bike guys," because they're all, they're probably, I don't know, like newly retired. I don't know how they have the time to do that. Maybe they're just really great physical shape. But like to me, it's like, wow, that's, I mean, Twin Cities kind of spread out too. Like they're all over the place. But they're like, nope, we bike there, we bike there, we bike there, and they do all 25. And again, it's that excuse to not just have a beer, but get together with your pals and be like, this area, this is what we're going to hit today. Let's go here, 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 here. And for breweries, they will sometimes see pub passers coming through, especially with the Legacy book, and get their free beer and sometimes leave. And it happens, but it's happening usually because they're crawling 3-4 places, want to keep their wits about them, and what we tell them is, you still introduce them to your brewery. They got a sense of your liquid, they tried it, they thought it was great, and they know about you now. And that's the same thing breweries do at Beer Fest. So you put a booth up at a Beer Fest, you're pouring free beers all day long to just kind of get the word out about your product. With this, we bring the Beer Fest to the tap room. That's kind of what we say. It's like people are coming to you throughout the year because they got one of these. And the goal is to make them aware of your product and then bring them back. So.
That's awesome.
Well, and here, a lot of the breweries have, in addition to their tasting rooms, they have their beers in the grocery stores. So there's no way to know. I mean, we've been introduced to some new beers through Pub Pass, and then we buy them in the store. So, there's I don't think as a retailer, I'm not sure you would know the actual value of
that awareness,
what that's happening.
Experience.
But,
and with our app, it is interesting that one of the things that our spots love about it is, for the most part, it's BOGO or $1. There's more like it's a deal on beer, and it renews every 30 days. So you bring it in the second line, you get a buy one get one free beer, whatever their deal is, and then it'll count down. 29 days, you can use it again. So you can use it more than once a year, but also you have now a tab on which to tip, because a lot of people don't carry cash. I think Nolan's maybe a little more of a cash city than most, because you're putting tips and tip jars for musicians, whatever. But a lot of people we hear are like, I don't even carry cash anymore, so I have my free beer. How am I supposed to give you a tip? They want to, maybe even. With our app, you've now got a tab. There's a buy one get one free beer. You've got a tab rolling, so it's a little easier for servers and bartenders to see, oh yeah, that person stuck around, they had a second beer, they'll let me a tip. But yeah, pub passers, if you're watching this, 95% of you tip super well. The ones who have a beer and leave, it's like, carry some singles maybe, you never know. They could come in handy. So
Exactly.
So now, we've both had the book and the app.
Yep.
And there are pluses and minuses to both of these.
Love to hear them.
This is a quest. I want to get this all filled up.
Right.
I want my passport full.
Yep.
I don't get that kind of fun with the app because it keeps rotating. So it depends. Are you a quest person or are you a all-year free beer person? Because
so spoiler alert.
Either. Are you going to give us badges or something?
I love the quest thing, and that's totally. People come to us at these finisher parties, and they'll have. I don't even want to say an excuse. They'll have a story of, I tried to go to the 25th spot so many times, and they were closed once, and the other time I forgot my pass at home, whatever. And it's like they didn't get their homework done. And I'm like, I'm not your teacher. I'm just here to cheers you. I know, and we'll go, it's okay. You can still be in the prize drawing, and they're like, well, that's cool. But mostly I'm mad that I didn't get that last stamp. So totally get that. That energy has fueled us in each of these over the years, each of the cities. With the app, you're correct. That so far, it's pretty much just like a digital, wow, look at all these places. On one hand, look at all these places. On the other hand, where do I even begin? If you're in Denver, there's 300 places. If you're not from there, or even if you are, where do you start? So we're starting, we rolled it out in Denver. I think there's maybe one in Nola now, we might be working on it, but we're doing journeys. So journeys are, they're not so much time sensitive as they are, now they might expire at some point. We might have like a St. Patty's Day one sometime or whatever, but it's more, the first ones we're doing are get to know the city journey. So if you're new in New Orleans or you're here for a weekend, whatever, and you could only go to, 5 or 8 spots on the app, we'll work with our local curators to say, well, where should those places be? Sort of like, we'll call it the NOLA 6-pack or whatever. Like you're going to go here, here, and you're going to try one in Bywater. You're going to go one here, or if it's just, I'm in the quarter and I'm here for work for 2 days, but where are the 5 places I should hit? We'll do a little journey. So eventually, there'll be a French Quarter journey. There'll be a North Shore journey. And you'll get badges for completing those journeys. So similar to how Untapped has done beer-related badges of, hey, I'm the IPA, champ or whatever. We're not going to do as much about types of beer or styles of beer, at least at the moment. We're going to be more places, geographical. So keep our history of that, but basically have someone from NOLA be able to say, I got the Denver badge, I got the Milwaukee badge, and it doesn't mean you went and hit all 300 spots in Denver. It means you went to Denver and hit the 5 that you had to hit to get that badge, and boom, you know. So even maybe using it in another city will get you a badge of, I checked into one place in Denver and I'm not from there, and we'll be able to have your kind of roster of, look at all your travels. So it's coming.
Oh, I love it.
It'll be digital.
Yeah.
It'll be digital.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you'll be doing that.
But we'll
you
eventually
too.
have prizes for it too. So
Swag.
people love the prizes, the swag, the stuff like that, and so we're going to start to evolve that too. So it's not just an annual party where we have prizes, but it's an ongoing thing where if you complete XYZ journey, if you did the Gulf Coast one eventually, whatever, we'll send you maybe a custom koozie that says finished Gulf Coast journey, whatever. You know, we're going to work on all that, but it's so new, and all of us, we have 2 full-time employees in Puppets. I don't know if I'm spoiling, you know, people are like, what? You guys are huge. But like, we all, I have a day job, our other 2 co-founders have day jobs, and almost like Shanna has a day job. We all, with Pub Pass, it's sort of a passion project, labor of love for a lot of us, and our full-timers are amazing, and we need more of them, but we're small, and we're working on it. And so as we get there, as this app starts to grow, very quickly you might be like, holy cow, it does way more things than it used to overnight. That's the cool thing about digital. It's always evolving. So.
Yeah.
But the app is great. The plus for the app is it renews.
There
So
it is.
Right.
we play trivia at a cider place, Kingfish Cider,
Yep.
here.
We
in
love
New Orleans.
Kingfish.
They're great.
And
Yep.
we play trivia all the time. When we've had 29 days,
There you
our
go.
first beer at Trivia is
Yep.
free. So
Mhm.
we do tip them.
And
But,
you're probably getting a second beer.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Oh, we're there
and
for
there's food
2
trucks.
hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
thing about it. It brings in business. Otherwise,
But we want those
while you're
ideas.
there.
Like,
yeah.
yours if you're watching, if you have an idea that says, oh, it would be cool if, the beauty of this app is we're always can change it. We're working on it. So if there's something that would be, oh, it's such a no-brainer, you need to do this, tell us, like message us, email us, because it's new to us too. We're making this something that you want to use. So if we can help make it cooler, make it more fun to use, make it stickier, make it something that your friends who are in town are more likely to download and try. Beer Me 3 free months. We want to hear that stuff because it's our first time. This is new to us too. It's our first time having an app.
Tell them if they want to be in a spot in the Booker app, how they reach out to us.
Oh, that's a great question. Well, Shanna, is it Shanna at getpubpass.com?
Yeah, that's it. Right.
SHANNA, right?
Correct.
Boom.
and that's in New
Getpubpass.com.
Orleans. If you want
Yes.
to be
If you want to be in
in
the
any
book
of the other
or the app,
cities.
yep.
Can they text you, or should they just text Pub Pass?
Sure. I mean, whatever. Just
Yeah.
get at us. I think Mike's email is mike@getpubpass.com.
Right.
I think there is a
Yeah.
spot when I was messing around on your guys'
To join.
website.
Right.
I think there
To
was like
join,
a,
yeah.
a place. that
Become
you
a
could
partner
fill
on the
it in.
website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we get a few of those, but for the most part, it really is a word of mouth thing for spots too. Like one brewery will have a friend who owns another brewery, and they'll say, "Oh, we've done this Pub Pass thing." And with our app, we got a lot of. Well, we don't really see anyone with this app. It's very new. Now they're starting to see people with the app because we're starting to finally have people using it because we have enough spots to send them out to use.
Okay.
So when we do new markets, we're working on right now some spoilers again.
You like spoilers.
Where are we
Heard
headed
it
next?
here.
Well, thanks for asking. Okay, Nashville, Memphis.
Cool.
We're gonna do some Little Rock and Fayetteville and Arkansas eventually here. Omaha, Nebraska. Buffalo, New York. Believe it or not, big beer scene up there. We're coming there. We were in Brooklyn for years. COVID times kind of decimated a lot of spots there. We're trying to get back off the mat in Brooklyn, but we're kind of restarting New York and Buffalo, and on and on. So we basically follow historically where what we do is legal. There are some other passes out there that just kind of go and do it, and if they get told to shut down, they'll shut down. We try to go with our book, especially where a free beer is a legal thing that places can do. In Wisconsin, not only can you do a free beer, you can give it to a 10-year-old. But you walk in, you're like, oh, my son's more of a White Claw guy, thanks. No. But what we've done historically is where can we take our free book? The beauty of the app is, Ohio, you can't do free, but you can do buy one, get one free. Or in California, you can't do free, but you can do a discount. So we work with our lawyers to figure out where we can go, and then when we go do it, we know we're good, we know you're not gonna get turned away, and we figure out the best offers that we can offer for places in those markets. So we're coming, app's going everywhere. Very soon you'll be able to load up the US map and go, whoa, and then eventually Europe. Come on now.
Hey,
Right?
hey.
Yeah, we already, one of our founders, Nick, is like, I already get to be the Dublin rep.
Yeah.
Fine, but like,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
I'll
but
take London.
yeah, exactly. So, but
I've
think
got
how
some
cool
thoughts.
that would be to go over
Yeah.
to Europe, a place with historically amazing beer, but not historically a great craft beer scene. Now it is. It's coming. So, like, if we could drop you into Copenhagen or Berlin or London or Paris or Amsterdam or wherever and say, hey, you're a beer nerd from the States, but we can tell you where the best IPA, in Copenhagen is and get you a BOGO on it. Whoa, suddenly it takes the whole travel thing to a whole new level. So
Yeah, I just got
that's
back
where we
from
wanna
Portugal,
go.
so
Oh
I've
my
already got
gosh.
some places picked
I need
out.
tips.
That's
I want to
awesome.
go. Yeah.
We went to England this
amazing.
summer and last spring, and we did a narrowboat. Where you go down
Yeah.
the canals. We'll do a whole episode on that.
Yeah.
That was a thing. But we sought out some craft breweries.
Love it.
And they were wonderful.
Yeah.
And then, of course, along the canals, there's all the pubs.
It's happening
Beautiful.
now. Yeah, I mean, 10, 15 years ago, I remember being in London thinking, well, you can get great ales. You can get, very excited about beer.
Yeah.
You can get great ales, you can get whatever. But now, I was in Italy last summer and I drank hazies as good as any I've had in the States, and it's happening all over now. So the craft beer revolution needs no introduction.
Yeah.
What we try to do at Pub Pass is focus it for you so that if you come into an area you're not familiar with, you're going to have a good time and experience great spots because of people like Shanna who know the market and know the town, and frankly talk with people like you all and get input and hear, oh, I didn't know that place, because it's not like you know every single
Right.
place in NOLA,
No.
but in your travels
Always
you
looking
hear
for
about
new
new
places.
places. So
Yeah.
we love it. It's so much fun.